April 7, 1915, Billie Holiday was born Eleanor Fagan. She was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Sadie and Clarence Holiday. In 1928, Billie Holiday and her mother moved to Harlem. Her mother and her would pay rent by working in a brothel. Billie Holiday, who was barely 14, would claim she was 21, got arrested for prostitution, and got sent to 100 days in a workhouse for vagrant adults. Due to her love for singing and dancing, Billie started out joining in a singing group, going from club to club singing for nothing but tips. In 1933, Billie Holiday cut her first record at the age of 18. One night, while singing at a club called Kelvin's, she was discovered by John Hammons. After singing a record with Columbia Records, she did her first commercial recording session with Benny Goodman. In 1935, Billie Holiday had a small role as a woman being abused by her lover in Duke Ellington's short symphony in black, called A Rhapsody of Negro Life. In her scene, she sang the song Saddest Tale. She later went to work with the big-name artists such as Teddy Wilson and Johnny Hodges. In 1936, Billie went on tour with Jimmy Lucifer and Fletcher Henderson. In 1937, Billie went back to the studio and recorded with Count Basse's and his orchestra. Lester Young, a sax player from the Count of Basse's orchestra, played a very important role during this rich musical period. Young was the one who gave her the nickname Lady Day because of her elegance, a name that is still, to this day, remembered.
And now I'd like you to know my favorite vocalist and America's #1 song stylist, Miss Billie Holiday.
Them that got shall have, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is new. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own.
In 1938, Billie teamed up with Artie Shaw after being fired from Count Basie's band. They managed to broadcast on radio WABC. In 1939, she was the first artist to sing at Cafe Society. Strange Fruit and God Bless the Child became two of the biggest selling records and hit top 20 in the 1930s. She recorded her first major session at the Commodore.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rock, for the tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter cry.
In 1944, Decca Records signed Billie Holiday at the age of 29. Her first recording for Decca was Lover Man, one of her biggest hits, was recorded as her second major session at the Commodore. At the height of her career, Holiday began using hard drugs like cocaine and opium, in addition to regularly consuming alcohol and smoking cigarettes and marijuana. By the late 1940s, her drug addiction and chronic depression brought her career short. In September 1946, Holiday began work on what would be her only major film, New Orleans. She was starred as being a maid, but she was not pleased at all. She said, "I thought I was going to play myself in it. I thought I was going to be Billie Holiday doing a couple of songs in a nightclub setting, and that would be that."
Envy your maid, and I've asked her not to sing those songs in this house. But she sings like an angel. Well, there's more devil than angel in that music.
Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans when that's where you left your heart?
Envy, didn't I tell you not to let me catch you at that piano again?
I'm sorry, ma'am. If I'd have heard you coming, I wouldn't have let you catch me.
Oh, Envy, you're incorrigible. This is Miss Merrily. Hello, Envy.
Welcome to New Orleans, Miss Merrily.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, let me fix you a good hot tub, and it will melt away all your tiredness.
Wonderful. I'll send you up some nice hot tea, darling. Welcome home. Come on, Miss Amelia. Indy,
Yes, ma'am?
that music you were playing, what was it?
I just can't seem to remember not to play it, Miss Merrily. It was a kind of little old blues tune.
Blues? Do you play the blues only when you're blue?
No, ma'am, they just call it blues. We play it when we're blue or when we're happy, even when we're in love. Right now, I'm in the latter.
Are you really, Indy?
Yes, ma'am. There's no one in the world like my Satchmo.
Satchmo?
That's short for Satchmouth. His real name is Louis, but I like Satchmo best.
How does the end of that song go?
Miss Merrily, are you trying to put ideas into my head?
Please do, but softly.
And there's something more. I miss the one I care for more than I miss New Orleans.
In 1947, Holiday was arrested for drug charges and voluntarily accepted placement in a federal drug rehabilitation center for a little over a year. In 1954, Holiday first toured Europe and appeared at Royal Albert's Hall in front of an audience of 6,000. By this point, her performance weakened as her physical health and vocal condition simultaneously deteriorated. She returned almost 5 years later and made one of her last television appearances for Granada's Chelsea's at 9 in London.
In 1959, the year of her death, she made her final recording with MGM. Her final performance was in New York City. Shortly after, she was admitted to the hospital suffering heart and liver disease. Even as sick as she was still procuring drugs. She was arrested on drug possession as she lied in her bed. In her final years, she was steadily being cheated out of her earnings. She passed away penniless. Decades after her death, her life had been glamorized by Hollywood in the 1972 movie Lady Sings the Blues, starring Diana Ross.
You've changed. You're not the angel I once knew. They sparkle, they bubble, gonna get you in a whole lot of trouble. But don't take too much. Mama may have Papa made.
Diana Ross is dazzling in her dramatic film debut as Billie Holiday in Lady Sings the Blues.
That's got his own.
Hers is the story of a child becoming a woman.
And so
A woman becoming a lady.
Who does she think she is? A lady. With a hell of a boy.
You want my arm to fall off?
A lady becoming a legend.
You're mean to me. Why must you be mean to
Diana Ross is Billie Holiday,
me?
the lady who sang the blues and lived them.
You treat me cold each day of the year.
One shot and you'll be flying.
I know what you're thinking. I'm not here.
I'm the one who sent you here and I'm taking you back home. You ain't gonna get anything from me. I mean, not right under his nose. You affect my whole. I love you. If you go on, baby, I go down too. You know, you can't fight it when you're hooked, and you are hooked. You'd kill me for it, wouldn't you?
What's the difference if I say I'm going away? When I know I'll come back on my knees someday.
Under your candles.
Oh, whatever my man fears, I'm here
Diana Ross adds brilliant new dimensions to her career as actress and artist in a performance that comes from the heart and reaches the soul. Lady Sings the Blues.
U2 even paid a tribute to Holiday with the song Angel in Harlem. Holiday's influence continues to loom large, not only in jazz, but also in R&B and pop. Today, her influence can be heard in artists such as the late Amy Winehouse, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, and Madeleine Peru. Lady Day revolutionized the jazz and blues study tradition. She sang with passion and conviction, deeply touching her audience. Her musical artistry and technical ability undoubtedly made her one of the greatest jazz vocalists in the 20th century.
That this heart of mine embraces all